kalyane niratam karunamayam namami chinmayam devam sadgurum brahma vidvaram vasudeva sutam devam kamsa chanura mardanam devaki paramanandam krishnam vande jagadgurum tvameva mata cha pita tvameva tvameva bandhusya sakha tvameva tvameva vidya dravidam tvameva tvameva sarvam amadeva deva tvameva sarvam gurudeva deva. Hari Om. We are doing the Panchadashi 7th chapter of Vidyaranya Swami, and we are at the sloka 204, and we just completed the sloka 203, and it says, which is quotation from the Vishnu Purana, so ya priti ravivekanam vishayeshvarnupayani tvam anusmarataha tame hrudayan mapasarpatu mapasarpatu. So ya priti avivekanam vishayeshu yaha priti, and that which is essentially vishayeshu anapayini. So anapayini is a very firm. So just as the ignorant people love the objects so much, in the same way I want to love you, O Lord. So give me that kind of bhakti. So this is the prayer of a bhakta to the Lord Narayana. So this is from the Vishnu Purana. So in the same way, I have to have a desire for the higher. So here Vidyaranya emphasizes using this, that I should have the same devotion to the called Mokshatvam, to the absolute truth, just as I am devoted outside right now. So I have to withdraw that. I cannot have both. So I have to withdraw my love from the object, because there is less investment, because objects don't have any happiness there. So I want to invest that which gives me more happiness, or the happiness which is much more everlasting. So I want to sannyas. This is called sannyasa yoga. I had to renounce things that does not give me enough happiness or eternal happiness. So investment, there is no point in investing something with very little returns, and therefore as an intelligent person I have to invest that which gives you much more or maximum, and that's what essentially here investing what? Investing my attachments by detaching myself from the lower and attaching myself to the higher. That's called devotion. Love for the higher is called devotion. Love for the lower is called lust. So you are falling in love, whereas you raise in devotion. So devotion is something higher. That what is higher and what is lower? Higher is that where the mind becomes unagitated, where the mind becomes calm and quiet. So love for the Lord should make your mind calm and quiet. If the Lord love is also making you agitated, then that becomes a lower love only. That means you have not understood the lower. So love for the Lord, because Lord has to be all pervading, ever present and everywhere. So love for the Lord has to be love for everything in the world. That should manifest as that. At least as a sadhana, one has to see the presence of the Lord everywhere. Then the love for the Lord manifests to love for all, and that becomes the unagitated love. Whereas any other love for a lower, because you are falling in love, that falling in love will cause you more agitations, sleeplessness. All that is because of you are suffering as a result of love only. So that's called lust. And let my love for you should be at least as greater than the love of an ignorant person for the objects, external objects. That's what the prayer in the Vishnu Purana. So here he is quoting Vishnu Purana to withdraw. That's called Vairagyam. Vairagyam is reinvesting the mind into something much more productive, more beneficial. That's what his Vairagya is. That means withdrawing the mind and investing in the mind in something higher. That's essentially the Vairagya is. So iti nyaye, let's chant 204. iti nyayena sarvasmat, iti nyayena sarvasmat, bhogya jatad viraktidhihi, bhogya jatad viraktidhihi, upasamhrutyatam pritim, upasamhrutyatam pritim, bhoktaryeva bhuvutsate, bhoktaryeva bhuvutsate. Iti nyayena sarvasmat, bhogya jatad viraktidhihi, upasamhrutyatam pritim, bhoktaryeva bhuvutsate. Iti nyayena, here nyaya is the words of the Puranas, because it's not logical we are talking about. So iti nyayena, it by studying all the Puranas, Puranas emphasize the love for the Lord, and therefore iti nyayena, by the words of the Puranas, sarvasmat, for everyone, bhogya jatam, the objects of enjoyment, viraktidihi, one has to withdraw the love for the objects and invest on to love something for higher. That higher is, the higher the love, higher the object of goal, then higher will be the energy that one gets out of it. And therefore the highest one is, of course, is the all-pervading Lord, and investing in that automatically provides you the strength, inner strength, and that's what a jnani will have, the highest strength, internal strength, because his investment is from the, he is pulling the infinite energy from the totality. So even though samoham sarvabhuteshu namedveshosti na priyaha, I am equal to everybody, but ebhajantitu mam bhaktya maiteteshu chapyaham. In the Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter, Krishna says, even though I am equal to everybody, I don't hate anybody or love anybody, don't favor anybody nor curse anybody, yet those who worship me, ebhajantitu mam eva, those are, they are really tapping my energy only. So they get benefit only because they are able to draw the energy from me, infinite source. Therefore it says, iti nyayena sarvatmat bhogya jatad virak. So I had to develop the discriminative faculty, viveka, and vairagya. Vairagya is to denounce or renounce or dependence of myself on something that which is the fluctuating happiness or objects outside. So withdraw the mind from unnecessarily involvement in the activities outside, because that will not give any permanent happiness and it's only waste of time. So therefore, virakta dhihi, dhihi means with the intellect, virakti means the one withdrawing, means no rakti, no enjoyment in those things, and therefore invest where the enjoyment comes. The enjoyment comes only in the love for the higher, and so this is being discussed in all Puranas. So essentially all Puranas is develop a devotion, but devotion is a means, and then what do I do with the mind? I have to invest in something higher, and that's essentially what is involved. Bhoktahi, the love for one's bhoktari, say upasamrutya. So this is that which is withdrawing from that. So the anusamrutya, so focusing eva bubutsate. So one has to know oneself. That is essentially that to know oneself, I have to withdraw. So I need the desire for to know myself. Who is that who is really I am, who is the self that I am, has to be known by withdrawing myself what I am not, where I have to withdraw the dispassion or dissipation of my mind. So tam pritim, the love for the object of the world, bhokta, the love for oneself has to be focused. So I have to withdraw for the love for object to the love of myself. Vibutsate. So desire to know oneself has to be there. So here withdraw, the Vidyaranya is to emphasize the sadhana aspect of it, where I had to use the viveka, vairagya, samadhi, shatka sampatti and mumukshutvam in order to recognize the absolute truth. And he's going to give more about this in terms of how to withdraw and what I am investing right now, and I have to withdraw. In the 205 sloka it says, Srak chandanam vadhu vastra Srak Chandanam Vadhu Vastra Suvarnadishu Pamaraha Suvarnadishu Pamaraha Apramatto Yatha Tadvat Apramatto Yatha Tadvat Na Pramadichyati Bhoktari Na Pramadjati Bhoktari Na Pramadjati Bhoktari. Together, Srakchandana Vadhu Vastra Suvarnadishu Pamaraha Apramatto Yatha Tadvat Na Pramadjati Bhoktari. So Bhoktari in the one who revels in himself, one who enjoys in himself. So Pamaraha, the Pamara means the ignorant one. Srak Chandana Vadhu Vastra Suvarna Adishu. Srak means in the garlands. So people garland him, he is so happy that he is being honored or something like that. So in the so-called external recognition by others, garlanding is by others. So external recognition, so if my happiness depends upon other people recognizing me, I am great, then that is it. They may put a garland, next day they may kick me out, depending upon whether they get something in return or not. So Srak Chandanam, Chandanam is sandalwood. Vadhu can be wife and also husband. Vastra, clothing, and Suvarna, garland. All the so-called the material things in the world. And he gives you example here, Pamaraha, the ignorant one who loves these objects because that brings them happiness. And so in the same way, Adishu in garland, etc. Yatha Apramattaha. So just as the one ignorant person pays so much attention to these things without dissipating his mind, means his full attention is trying to get more and more of these. In the same way, Tadvato, in the same way, Bhoktari, I have to invest my mind into something higher, which is on the reality. Na Pramadjati. So do not forget that I have to involve my mind into something higher. Don't get dissipated into these external affairs. That's what is important for a sadhaka. So in the next sloka, the same theme is being discussed now. Kavya Nataka Tarkadim Abhyasyati Nirantaram Vijigishur Yatha Tadvat Mumutshum Swam Vicharayet. Together, Kavya Nataka Tarkadim Abhyasyati Nirantaram Vijigishur Yatha Tadvat Mumutshum Swam Vicharayet. Yatha, just as Vijigishu, one who wants to know, one who is desiring, Jigish means one who wants to victory in these things. In what? In the arguments, or Kavya in the poetry, Nataka in the drama, in the dances. Nataka includes the dance and the dramas and all that. I want the victory, means I want to win the first place in this. I want to be recognized as the best. Either way, Vijigishu means I want others to recognize me. I am the best in this, in all this. That means that a lot of effort is required in order to reach in highest in any of this. In the kavyam, in the natakam, in the dance, in the tarkam, in the logic, and any other subject in any field also. Adi means includes in every objective field that one desires that other people's recognition. Therefore, I had to work hard, and there is a lot of competition in every field, and I had to, in order to be better than the other guy, I had to study or I had to practice a lot. So, tarkadim, logic, nirantaram, without stopping, I had to continuously practice this. Abhyasati, one who practices. Tadvat, in the same way, one who desires the moksha also has to do the same thing, but not in the other things, but in the adhyatmika vidya. That's what Vidyaranya says. Mumukshu swam vicharaye, has to inquire into the nature of the reality. Here swam is nature of yourself, or the nature of the world, and the nature of the Ishvara, and the nature of Brahman. So vichara, you have to invest the same way, withdrawing your mind, just as the other people are involved in the other things intensely, in order to win over or to in order to be recognized. Here it's not for the recognition, but it's for the realization of the truth. I have to invest my mind in that. So essentially, he is emphasizing the sadhana aspect that is required in order for the mumukshu, for one who wants to get liberated, because we are going life after life after life, and so many millions of life we have spent, starting from a unicellular amoeba all the way here. Now you want to continue this forever. It becomes punaramaranam, punarapicharanam, again and one more life, one more life. How long? The only way to stop this is only to find out the absolute truth. There is no other shortcuts here, and for that you have to withdraw the mind. Mind has to be available. You cannot have both this and that, because very have that you assume that other gives happiness. There is no happiness out there. Happiness comes from your own self. That has to be recognized. So he is giving more examples of the same thing in the next sloka. Japaya agopasanadi, japayogopasanadi, kurute shraddhaya yatha, swargadivanchaya tadvat, श्रद्धध्यास्वे मुमुक्षया together. जपया गोपसानादि कुरुते श्रद्धया यथा स्वर्गादिवांछया तद्वत् श्रद्धध्यास्वे मुमुक्षया. So yada swargadivanchaya japa yoga upasanadi shraddhaya kurute. So some people want, don't want anything here, but I want in the next life, or I want to go to heaven and enjoy. So they do, in olden days at least, maybe they were doing lot of yagas and karma yoga, the yagas and yoga and the asanas and all sorts of things in order to gain the swargam. So yada swarga adi vanchaya, in order to gain the swargam, vanchaya, desire for swargam, japa and yaga, upasana adi. So some people do japa yogam and yagas, the homams and all that, upasana, so intense meditations in order to gain the pleasures of the heaven in the next life, etc. Shraddhaya kurute, with complete devotion they do. In the same way, tadvatu, mumukshaya, for the one who wants to get liberated, sway in one's own self or in the nature of the truth, shraddhayat, by full faith, one has to devote. Is what the says is Shruti teaches this. Ananyas chintayanto maye janah paryupasate. So without any other thought other than me. So any other thought means any dissipating thoughts in other external world. Krishna also says without any vyabhichara, without any dissipating thoughts, you have to invest your mind in me. In me where? In me. Who is me? Me means the one who is Vyapakatvat Vishnu, the one who pervades everything. That is Vishnu. So you have to invest mind in that. That means you have to withdraw the mind from other places without dissipating and reinvest in that. That's essentially the Krishna also says. And Swargadi Vanchaya Tadvatu Shraddhadvat Sve Mumukshaya. So you have to reinvest. Essentially, you need a vairagya, one side, withdrawing mind, dissipating fields, and investing it in the higher place. And that's what is called mumukshutvam, the desire for liberation. We'll do next sloka, 2/8. Chittaikagyam yatha yogi, chittaikagyam yatha yogi, mahayasena sadhayet, mahayasena sadhayet, animadiprepsu yaivam, vichityatsvam mumukshaya, together. Chitraikagyam yatha yogi, mahayasena sadhayet, anima adiprepsuyaivam vivichyat mokshaya. So yogi, some people, they want to sit and do yoga, and what they want anima adiprepsaya. So to desire get anima. Anima means anima, there are siddhis, different anima, mahima and so on. There are various types of siddhis. So they want powers, and for that you have to work hard, and they spend a lot of their whole life itself trying to gain some power so that they can get benefit out of that powers. So animadi prepsaya. So with the desire to get anima, etc., mahayasena, with great efforts, chitta ekagratam, single pointed devotion towards that, some of the yogis do. Yadha sadhayed, some people try to gain and get that one. In the same way, evam mumukshaya, the seekers of liberation, has to same dedication. So chitta ekagrata is emphasized here. Just as the yogis spend their whole lifetime trying to gain or trying to acquire some siddhis of anima is becoming small or becoming big or becoming transparent, all kinds of that Hanuman used to do, right? Anima, he became so small in order to escape. But his devotion to Rama is the one. These are without the siddhis. But siddhis help to help the Lord only. But here people want to use the siddhis to become famous also. So therefore, same, in order to gain that, you have to spend lot of chitta ekagrata. One has to contemplate and meditate on that. In the same way, one has to meditate on the nature of the reality. So you have to withdraw your mind on everything else and concentrate on the nature of absolute reality. So intense desire for liberation is required in order to pursue this. Otherwise, you won't get it. That's what is the whole emphasis is. We'll do 208. So one more aspect of the how to concentrate the mind is given here. Chittaikadyam yatha yogi. That's what we did. Kesalani vivardhante. Kesalani vivardhante. Tesham abhyasa patavatu. Tesham abhyasa patavatu. Yada tadvat vivekaha. Yada tadvat vivekaha. Vivekasya. Yada tadvat vivekaha. Asyapi abhyasat vishadayate. Asyapi abhyasat vishadayate. Together. Kesala ani vivardante. Tesham abhyasa patavatu. Yada tadvat vivekaha. Asya api abhyasat vishadayate. Yadha tesham kesalani. So by practice one become efficient. So the dexterity in the action comes from a karma yogi. Karma yogi is one who practices karma yoga. He becomes efficient in his actions also. So any yoga makes one to be efficient in the mind. Mind becomes lacking more and more as I concentrate. So we have a child who cannot concentrate on it, but he has to practice. By practice, the mind becomes more sharper and sharper, and will be able to have chitta ekagrata, means single pointedness. By withdrawing the mind from everything else and investing on that, that becomes by slowly by practice, and he become efficient. Keshalani, efficiency. Abhyasa padavatu, by the strength of the practice one can gain efficiency. Keshalani. Vivardhante, it grows as one practices. Tadvatu, in similarly. Asyapi, in the seeker also, in the mumukshu, for the liberation. Abhyasat vivekaha vishadaye, by proper discrimination, by practice, and viveka, by discriminative intellect, vishadaye, one becomes efficiently and focused. And this is exactly what Krishna teaches in the Gita. It says, Chanchalam me manas Krishna paramada balavadruva asyaham nigraham manye vayoryo sudushkaram we quoted before this, and says its mind is very flexible, it's very chanchalam, it's always fickle-minded, and it's very difficult to concentrate. And you see, the mind is very difficult to concentrate. Krishna himself says, because it's difficult to control the mind, and just as difficult to control the wind. Krishna says, you are right, it is difficult, but abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena sakryate. By two aspects, one is by practice and by another is by withdrawing your mind from the dissipating. So these two things are required. Constant practice will make the mind sharp and focused, and that's how one becomes more and more and more and more. As vairagya comes, withdrawing comes only when I have the love for the object, so I can withdraw from other things and invest my mind into the source of love. If this is the mumukshatvam, when I love that this is the highest goal that has to be reached, once I recognize it, then automatically I will start withdrawing. If my mind is dissipating and not able to concentrate only because I am giving more importance to the world. People say, I am not able to concentrate, I am not able to meditate. Why I cannot meditate? Because my mind is running. Why my mind is running? Because mind has some investment in that. So first thing is to withdraw that mind from those investments, and it won't withdraw unless I reinvest the mind to something higher. So love for the object has to be come out, and love for that source, that truth has to be there. Without withdrawing the mind and say I cannot concentrate because of the problem of the mind only. Though for that only Karma Yoga and Upasana Yoga helps for the mind to withdraw the mind from that, because Karma Yoga involves and Upasana Yoga involves bringing the Ishvara into the picture, and by bringing Ishvara, my love for the objects is transferred to my love for the Ishvara, and slowly I withdraw the love for the object. That's how I get the Vairagya also. So therefore, it is the abhyasa, practice becomes an important means of knowledge and required for the mumukshutvam. We'll do sloka 210. Vivinchata bhoktrutatvam, vivinchata bhoktrutatvam, jagradadishva sangata, jagradadishva sangata, anvaya vyatirekabhyam, अन्वय व्यतिरेकाभ्याम साक्षिण्यज्जवसीयते, साक्षिण्यज्जवसीयते. Together, vivinchata bhoktrutatvam jagradaadishvasangata, jagradashu asangata, अन्वय व्यतिरेकाभ्याम साक्षिण्यज्जवसीयते. अन्वय व्यतिरेकाभ्याम. So this we discussed in the very first chapter of the Panchadashi. By Anvaya Vyatireka, when they are together, it's called one is, the other is. That's called Anvaya. And Vyatireka, one is not, the other is not, that is Vyatireka. So by process of Anvaya Vyatireka logic, what is dependent and what is independent is recognized. So when we are looking about two things that are together all the time, and how do I discriminate by whether Anvaya and Vyatireka? If the gold and the ring, example, so gold and the ring are together all the time, because wherever the ring is, gold is. So one is, the other is. Ring is, the gold is. And then therefore that's called Anvayam. And Vyatireka is when the ring is not, gold is still. Vyatireka doesn't work. If gold also disappears when the ring also disappears, that means they are this avinabhava sambandham. You cannot separate that. But here you can separate that cognitively, because the ring is, the gold is. That's called Anvayam. But ring is not, but still gold is. That means ring is transformed into a bangle. There is no ring is not there, but gold is still there, remain. That means gold is independent existence from the ring, whereas the ring has a dependent existence. So that's what is called Anvaya Vyatireka. So Anvaya Vyatireka Abhyam, Bhoktrutvam, the essence of the experiencer. Who am I? So I am there in the waking state, I am there in the dream state, I am there in the deep sleep state. So you say I am there and the state is there, together are there. But now I have to go to a stage where I am there and the other one is not there. In that, I reject that and emphasize that which pervades all the time. So that's why experiencer is there in everywhere. In every experiencer and there, experience objects differ. So bhoktrutva, experiencer, the vivinchata. So a discriminative intellect is required to differentiate these two, because they are not samyoga sambandha, contact relationship, but it is some inherent relationship. Gold and the ring are the intrinsic relationship, and which can be inseparable physically. I cannot take a ring out and give you gold, and because the ring gets destroyed, the gold is more permanent. So here one has to be careful. One is a higher order of reality. So in the other philosophies, as we mentioned before, that a ring and a bangle and a necklace are real. For them, gold is also real. Now, is gold real or a ring real? This is both are real. But we have to differentiate that gold has a higher order of reality compared to ring and a bangle and necklace, because this is what this scripture gives you for what is mithya and what is satyam. Vacharambanam vikaro namadeyam. This is only gold is namke vaste appearing as a ring and a bangle and a necklace. There is really no ring and a bangle necklace, even though it is appearing as a ring and a bangle and a necklace. Because appearance is only for form, and you give a name for the form. Form is the rupa and name is a nama. So nama and a rupa are jagat. The whole world is nothing but nama rupatmakam jagat. That's because of it is only apparent but not really real. For that we have to use anvaya vyatireka. How do I use? He is going to talk about for the three states of consciousness in the next sloka. So anvaya vyatireka abhyam bhoktrutvam. I had to come with who is the real knower by using process of anvaya and vyatireka. Vivanchatam, by using discriminative intellect. That's what discriminative intellect means. A discriminative viveka is satyan, what is real and what is not real. What is nitya, anitya, vastu viveka. What is eternal and what is ephemeral. In the two things are occurring, that which is changeless and that which is changing. That is the discriminating viveka, vivechatam, discriminating intellect. Jagradadishu, that in the jagrat and the waking state and a dream state, or the means waking state and a dream state and a deep sleep state, etc. Adishu, Sakshini, who is the agent, witnessing agent of say, I am aware of the working state, I am aware of the dream state, I am aware of the deep sleep state, because I know I slept very well, I was dreaming and now I am awake. So I am is a Sakshi, and that Sakshina, witnessing agent. Asangata is being unattached to it, because if I am attached, then if it goes, I also go. But waking state is changed, but I am in the dream state. Dream state is changed, I am in the deep sleep state. Deep sleep state is changed, I am back to waking state. So states keep changing. I am asangaha. I am untouched by the states, and that by using the viveka, I have to re-identify who is that I am. So adhovasiyate, adhyavasiyate. So it has to be ascertained that the nature of the reality, asangata, the detachment of using discriminative intellect, I am that Sakshi who is unattached to the states of the consciousness, waking, dream and deep sleep state. So this is a sadhana, is essentially revising in terms of how I put for a nididhyasana, or for the sadhaka also, how I am different from the changing things. 211. Yatra yadrusyate drashta, yatra yadrusyate drashta, jagrat swapna sushuptishu, jagrat swapna sushuptishu, tatraiva tannetaretreti, tatraiva tannetaretreti, anubhutirhi sammata. Together, yatra yadrusyate drashta, jagrat swapna sushuptishu, tatraiva tannetarapreti, anubhutir hi sammata. So Jagra Swapna Sushuptishu Yatra Yat Drashta. So in all the three states of waking state and a dream state and a deep sleep state, in whatever, yet that which drashta, that which is experiencer of these three states. So states keep changing. I am experiencing the waking state. So waking state is an object of my experience, and experiencer is different from the experienced. So by using Anvaya Vyatireka, where I am experiencing the waking state, now waking state has changed, now I went to the dream state, now I am experiencing the dream state, so therefore I am not detached from the waking state, so I am not a waking state. So anything that is identified with the waking state, I am only drashta, an experiencer, but not the experienced. So I can negate anything that I experience. I am experiencing my body, mind and intellect also, because they are objects of my knowledge also. That's called Kshetram. So, and Krishna goes exhaustively detailed not only the word, but idam, sariram, that includes all things that can be objectified, is only Kshetram only. So that tatra iva tannetaratri. So I am drashta, the experiencer, and drusyate, experiences, or tatra eva, in the state alone, itaratra na, it is not there in the next state. So whatever I experience in the waking state, it's in that state only, the experiencer and experience. When I go to the dream state, all that is experience belongs to only waking state, is not there. So body experience in the waking state and the world experience in the waking state is different from the body and the mind and the equipment that I have in the dream state. And therefore, I have to use the discriminative, itaratrana, iti anubhuyati. This is experienced by sammatahi, is well accepted by everybody. Everybody knows that I am a waker and this is a waking state, and waking state is different experiences compared to the dream state experience. I may be blind in the waking state, but I may have a 20/20 vision in my dream state. So dream experiences are different from the waking experiences. This everybody knows, he says. Iti anubhutihi. This has been normal experience for everybody as the knowledge of everybody. Let's do 212. Sayat tatrechate kinchit, sayat tatrechate kinchit, tenam va gato bhavid, tenam va gato bhavid, drishyaiva punyam papam, cheti evam sutishu dindimaha, cheti evam sutishu dindimaha. Together, sayat tatrechate kinchitu, tenam va gato bhavid, drashtvaiva punyam papam, cheti evam sutishu dindimaha. Saha, the saha is, we are talking about pure self. Tatra, in each state, yat kinchitu, whatever ichyate is experienced, in whatever experience in each state, the pure self, tena, by that experience, asangatvat bhaved, does not get carried away by it. Because asangoham, punah punah. In the waking state, I am unattached, because if I am attached, I cannot go to next state. So I can reject that and go to dream state completely. Therefore, I am unattached to it. So saha, the pure self, is asanvagataha bhaved. Do not get carried away with the previous punyam and papam. The joys and sorrows that are experienced in the waking state do not reflect. So I may be a millionaire and I have scrumptious meals and sitting in a lazy chair and then went to sleep. And there in the dream, I may be dreaming myself I am a pauper and I am hungry and I am suffering for years and so on and so forth. So this is what in fact Janaka asked Yajnavalkya. So he was dreaming that whole universe is fire, under fire, and everything is burned, everything is lost. So he says, and when he gets up, he asks Yajnavalkya, am I a dreamer that which is experiencing the kingdom here, and I was a king and experienced the destruction of that in the dream, which is my real nature. Jagadguru says neither. In the waking state you experience this. In the dream state you experience the other one. The experiences keep changing. Therefore, anything that changes you cannot, because you are an experiencer, not the experience. And therefore, that understanding, you don't get carried away, because the punyam, papam, joys and sorrows that are experienced in each state, društva evam, also having illumined in each, sa iti evam, in this way, srutishu dindimaha. So, the one who is the seer of the experiences, or the experiencer of the experiences changing, but the experiencer is the same. I am the waker, I am a dreamer, I am a deep sleeper, but I am neither a waker nor a dreamer nor deep sleeper, because I keep changing the states. Therefore, I am none of them, yet I am is a pure existent consciousness. States keep changing, so I had to use this discriminative faculty that since things are changing, I cannot be that. So, in spite of the waking state and the dream state and deep sleep state, my real nature is none of the states, and that's what you see. Mandukya Upanishad says, Turiyam na anta pragyam na bhai pragyam no bhayata pragyam na pragyana ghanam na pragyam and adrishtam avyaharyam, and so on. So, I am neither a waker nor a dreamer nor a deep sleeper nor in between, nothing of that. I am that which is, that is Shantam Shivam Advaitam Chaturtham Manyanti Satma Savigneyaha. I am that pure Shantam Shivam, auspicious, and that which is the fourth state, as though Chaturtham Manyante is called fourth, it's not really fourth, but which pervades all the three, different from the three, yet it is different, yet it is experienced there in all the three also, and that which is beyond all the three experiences, and that has to be recognized in the waking state, because I need a buddhi for it. I need a discriminative intellect to differentiate who is that I am and what is this which is changing. Using the buddhi, using the intellect, I have to recognize that I am not the buddhi, and I am that which enlivens the buddhi, that makes the buddhi active, that consciousness which makes the buddhi also active, and that I have to recognize using the buddhi only, and know that I am that beyond that all these things. That has to be understood by process of discrimination, anvaya vyatireka. So, we will go into the further analysis of Jagadguru Sukti is given here in the next sloka, but we will do that in the next talk. With this we stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.